Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to this lovely Thursday night edition of SHARKNEWZ Live. What is going on, everybody? It's been a long time since I've streamed, probably about 3 weeks now. I haven't streamed in about 3 weeks. Pretty crazy. I have definitely missed you guys. How's everyone doing today? First of all, shout out to Carlos for telling me to get my Dr. Pepper. I surprisingly got a Dr. Pepper earlier this afternoon and ended up finishing it before the stream, so very unfortunate. So now I have to settle with water, which is not bad, but it's so cool to see people in the chat actually remember what my favorite beverage is. Maybe I talk about it too much, or the fact that you guys just enjoy the Dr. Pepper as well. So pretty cool. Otherwise, yeah, unfortunately I don't have it for tonight's stream. I already finished it. But I have water with me today. Wilfredo Diaz is the first person here in the chat tonight. He says good evening, and to everyone here tonight, and to you, Shark. Thank you, Wilfredo. Welcome, longtime supporter. We have Troy T says let's go. Hell yeah, man, let's go. It's been a while. We have Paul says what's up, 3 exclamation marks. Miss, what's up, Shark, with the shark emoji. We have Ionic Blood, the legend, saying what's up, Ionic Blood, legend on the channel as well. How is everybody doing today? A Romo, what's going on, brother? Paul says Dr. Pepper and Crown Royal is nice. Hell yeah. Jay Smith says hello, Shark and chat. Hope all is good. You know, before we get into the stream, the cool part is that they actually opened a Dave's Hot Chicken near my house. I don't know if you guys are a fan of that place, but when I go there, I always mix in my cherry Coke and Dr. Pepper. It is absolutely incredible, man. I feel like I'm floating on air with how great that shit tastes. Not only that, you have like a very beefy ass chicken whatever sandwich burger thingy, and then it tastes so good, man, when you just mix your Dr. Pepper and cherry Coke together. Damn, it hits the spot so well. Liquid Identity says hey, Shark and chat. Jay Smith says hello, Shark and chat. Hope all is good. A Romo says it's live time, let's go. Hell yeah, with the shark emoji. Title Manashir, what's up, brother? Says Thursday gang. Yes. Still gonna wait for just a few more people to join in, so we'll talk about it. Troy Roach, welcome to the chat, says pre-ordered the cop earlier today. Congratulations, we're definitely gonna talk about that. Maximum Warp says greetings all. Welcome, Maximum Warp. Alan Balcom says what's up, Shark? No heads up on going live. My heads up are usually located on the live tab page that you see on my channel. You should get a notification because I posted that I was going live like a few hours ago. So maybe the algorithm just isn't on my side. So you kind of have to, you know, check the channel if that's something you want to do. Otherwise, you know, it is what it is. Hey, Roma says swamp water. Yeah, I mean, yeah, what can you do? I mean, it's not that bad when you have cold water, cold ice water. Ionic Blood says, does anybody just mix up everything? I think we call it jungle juice when we were kids. I never really had a name for it. I just toss in a bunch of beverages together and then call it my own concoction of whatever. Jason Atrides, welcome, says what's up, Shark? Lego, hell yeah. Russell Terrell says hey, Shark, just got on one hell of a long ass day. What's going on, Russell? How was your day? What did you do today? How bad was work? Miss says, why didn't Hasbro put the police figure on their website? We're going to talk about that. Yeah, it's a little frustrating, man. I will have a quick little event session, so we're going to talk about that shortly. Alan Balcom says, I was listening to a sports show and What? Quickly jumped over to hang out with Shark and the crew. Oh, I mean, you can go ahead and listen to your sports, man. Like, you can always catch the replay. It's all good. Good evening to the homies, says A. Romo. Alan says, I finally got my dial tone. Yeah, congratulations to those who got your dial tone. I've seen they've been shipping for a lot of people. That's awesome. Super duper congrats. Russell says, not work. Talking with an attorney over my dad, rest in peace, and his will. Oh, man, my condolences, man. I'm so sorry. You know, the interesting thing is that I've actually recently had the same conversation not too long ago with my father as well. And, you know, those kinds of conversations are always, they affect you in numerous ways. I think that's also one of the reasons why I didn't really go live in the past a week or two, just because those kinds of conversations really kind of puts you down and you're just like, I can't like function properly. And then yeah, so I think that also helps with you know, but yeah, I'm deeply saddened about your lost brother. I hope tonight's stream can be a little more therapeutic or more relaxing for you. I don't know how long you're going to stay on for, but hopefully aside from my little vent session, I hope you enjoy the stream tonight. We'll dedicate tonight's stream to your father, if that's cool with you. So tonight's stream we'll dedicate it to Russell Terrell's father. Okay, so let's see. I'll give it like a few more minutes. Paul says Desert Scorpion reviews up on Bee's Battleground. Yeah, I didn't watch that video though. I just saw thumbnails. It looks cool though. I did pre-order that figure too, so I'm going to kind of hold in my excitement and wait for that figure to come in, and then I'm going to review the figure myself on my channel, so then we'll see what happens with that whenever the heck that figure comes in. Pixel Forge, welcome to the chat, says Target has the worst search engine to find anything. Also, someone is selling a Dragonfly out there for about $700. $700 on Target, or do you mean like on eBay? A. Romo says, thank you, Shark, for the short video on YouTube with the info for tomorrow. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, man. It's been a while since I've done like the standard SHARKNEWZ videos where it's just the audio and, you know, I'm just talking. I kind of enjoy being more on camera lately, and it's more better when I have like, when I can pull up certain things like on the spot rather than going through all that whole editing process, which takes up another like 35 minutes of my time, where it's just easier to kind of hop on and just record, and whatever mistakes I make, it happens, so it's all good. But yeah, so other than that, so let's talk about hold on, let me see, hold on, I think this is a new person here on the chat. Slim Bones Lego Star Wars channel, what's going on, brother? Says, I saw the Dragonfly on Target site too, very weird. Sometimes even Walmart has figures, but sometimes they could also be like a third party, or, you know, like a not really a Target affiliated kind of order, so kind of make sure you check to see where the figure is, or like the pre-order is coming from, because sometimes Walmart tells you like, oh, it's on the Walmart website, but then you click on the information, then it tells you it's from like another company and Walmart just ships it, I guess. I don't know how that really works. But Jason does make a good point, because he goes, those people pay top dollar for knockoff products to review first. Notice they constantly complain about QA QC issues. What do you mean, Jason? Who's paying top dollar for knockoffs? Nerd Alert, welcome to the chat. Did I say hello? He says Shark in chat, what's up, with the football emoji. Carlos says, yep, third-party vendors, yeah. Alright, let me see, we have, okay, I'll give it just a few more minutes, and then Is everyone excited for tomorrow? Everyone excited for your Steeler and Short-Fuze 2-pack? I really hope that it's very easy for everyone to get. The only thing is when you do these videos, or you see the cycle for so many years now, 5 years into doing GI Joe news, nothing has surprisingly changed. Like, Target has not changed since the Cobra Island debacle. Therefore, like, I don't see anything new. The only times Target has a lot more benefit when it comes to pre-ordering figures or getting figures is if it's like a figure that nobody, or actually I shouldn't say nobody, but if it's a figure that's not like too popular, or a figure that doesn't really has that much hype. Because if you think about it, figures like Raptor didn't sell well, at least in my Target, so we still had an abundance there. Figures like the Tiger Force, Tripwire, and Roadblock didn't really sell that well either. So there was like a lot there. So then there was quite a few retro figures, but my Target usually stocks very late, so there's a very good chance that I'm not going to see any of these new figures till like probably December, January at most. My Target is so damn slow. GI Joe, welcome to the chat, says I'm sure they're already sold out. Yep, I know for a fact that they're definitely going to sell out on Pulse, because if you read BMAC's Instagram story, which again I'll get into shortly, it says that they're going to have limited quantities on Pulse, and then and it's mostly a Target exclusive. So either way, it's more so like a lose-lose situation in my opinion. I'm not trying to be like a pessimist or anything, but we've seen this situation happen so many times with so many figures that at this point I kind of lost hope. But I try to be as optimistic as I can, but it still becomes like daunting to know. First of all, you have to wake up, unless you're already at work, but you have to wake up bright ass early in the morning to go on a Target website where they will either 50% cancel your order, or you'll get the other 50% of getting lucky, or it'll just completely sell out, which is another troubling scenario. Then, you know, by the time you're facing Target, you know, BS, you go to Hasbro Pulse's website, and by that time Hasbro Pulse has their own BS going on with their website, because then a lot of times people who order their figures, it tells you have to re-input your number or your card information and your name and all that crap, and then that takes up time, and by the time you're done with all that stuff, and then you find out that it's sold out. So yeah, it's gonna be all right. So hold on, I think somebody's new here in the chat. Rashikage, welcome to the chat. I think this is your first time here. He says, "What's good, Shark? Did you get the Legacy Police Officer?" I did not. I don't really collect the Anniversary or the Legacy series figures. Not really my thing. I don't really know where to put it in my collection, so I kind of stay a little more selective and just kind of get the figures that I really want in the collection. So I'm really like doubling down on what I want. I had a hard time with the Psylocke 2-pack, shaking my head. I heard that the Psylocke and Thanos, was it Thanos? I forgot, or I think it was them too. Like, that was also pretty terrible. The other issue is that it lets you say you got it ordered, but then it cancels some straight up BS as a Roma. Yeah. Arashikage says, lately Pulse has been showing things immediately sold out and then an hour later if you're able to. So one of the things that's also very confusing is on BMAC's post, he also states that he says it's limited quantities for Pulse Premium members. I don't know if that was a slight typo, because I don't know if he meant for general public and then, Pulse Premium members first and then general public, or is it just premium members in general? Because I hope everyone on Pulse who's not a premium member can also get their figures too, which would be ideal, but if not, that would really suck. But I'm pretty sure it could be just a typo. Oh shit, what just happened here? Solo Sinner with the $25 Canadian money. What's going on, Solo Sinner? I have not seen you in a very long time. Also, shout out to Solo Sinner, because he did contribute to, I believe it was a Desert Scorpion figure, the classified one. So once that figure comes in, I will dedicate that one to you. But he says, Shark, you're doing great work, dude. Your content is flooding my feed with exactly the stuff I want to see. Looking forward to the Short-Fuze and Stealer. Hopefully it won't be a science project to obtain. I mean, I'm going to be up anyways around that time, so I will try my best to post the links on my posts tab page. So, I mean, if you guys aren't already there, but for those who want to see it there, hopefully I'm going to try my best to post it there on time. But thank you so much, Solo Sinner. I'll give you the shark heart. That means a lot to me, man. Thank you so much. Josh, welcome to the chat. Says it was 13 for shipping, so no. Tagworm, what's up, Tagworm? Thank you so much for joining. Says sub Jokas, Shark. Happy days, Jokas. He's got 2 cops. Need 2 more. 1 for my niece and 1 to keep in box. Nice, man. That's what's up. Congrats. All right, so let's talk about okay. So let's talk about the first topic, which is none other than the Stealer and Short-Fuze 2-pack. I have quite a few things to say about this, just because I'm kind of shocked. So here's my little vent session about this. So hopefully this makes sense, but weigh in your options in the comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me, because I want to see what you guys have to say about this. This 2-pack, right, is this 2-pack is probably, in my opinion, one, at least within this year, is one of the more so, I don't want to say important or popular, but it's one of those words when it comes to GI Joe Classified for obtaining, because if you are someone that enjoys the original 13, then this is straight up right up your alley. Now, the thing that I find extremely frustrating and disappointing, which is, to be quite honest, extremely embarrassing as well, is that for Target Fall Geek Out event, for 3 weeks, we had no information regarding this 2-pack. Unless you were there at San Diego Comic-Con, that was the only way you probably knew that these were going to be a Target exclusive, right? So if you were at San Diego Comic-Con, then you probably would have, missed out if you weren't attending the panel. Now, the thing that I find very embarrassing is that for 3 weeks, the G.I. Joe team is completely silent. They know that collectors want this 2-pack and it's pretty high in demand, yet they are completely radio silent. They don't update anything on their socials, which is completely bogus, unless the layoffs and the whatever like is affecting Hasbro as a whole. I don't know what the hell is going on there. And then, not only that, you find out from BMAC, of all people, who is, I guess, on the G.I. Joe team or a substitute on the G.I. Joe team. I don't know what his role is on Hasbro, because I know he's also part of the Transformers. Of all people, not Tony, not Lenny, not even Emily, you see it from BMAC that this 2-pack is going up for pre-order tomorrow on Target's website for the Fall Geek Out event. Of all people, BMAC. It's not even on the official Hasbro Pulse's official Instagram accounts, or not even from the 3 main people who are part of the G.I. Joe team. And not only that, you have this 2-pack be a Target exclusive, which is completely bonkers, because if this was just a regular pre-order on Pulse, then I can understand. But the fact that you make a very high in demand or highly sought after 2-pack to be a Target exclusive, it's not even a sub team. It's not even like a random character like, I don't know, Techno Viper or Raptor or some other random ass figure that can be a Target exclusive. You put two pivotal characters that are part of the original 13 to be part of a Target exclusive, and you know how terrible Target has always been when it comes to pre-ordering their figures. And you know, unless you're someone that has been always lucky, then you know this probably might not concern you. But for the rest of us who always gets the low end of the stick, it's by far one of the worst things you could ever do to a collector by announcing these two. Be like, I would have even approved if this was an Amazon exclusive. At least Amazon would have been like a million times better. But to make it like a store like Target, I mean, that's really sad, man. But the whole emphasis of the rant is to say the fact that you can bet tomorrow on September 19th, tomorrow, that's when you're going to see a post from the G.I. Joe team that the Steel and Short-Fuze 2-pack is going up for today. I'm like, why? And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell would you post the pre-order announcement or information from the Hasbro team themselves a few hours or an hour before it goes up, and knowing Hasbro is probably going to go up like an hour after it goes up for pre-order, which means they're probably going to post it on their Facebook or Instagram like an hour later. So it doesn't make any sense to me that who's in charge of this marketing? Why aren't they letting fans know when these, you know, figures going up? You know, you have, you know, YouTubers like Full Force or me or whatever Island Guy, like everyone is going out of their way making all these videos telling you guys that these are when these figures are going up for pre-order. But the main brand themselves, the main people who are in charge of marketing, are not even doing anything. What's up with that? I know it's free advertising. Holy shit, like, well played. But dear Lord, I mean, come on. Like, I would have expected them to at least make some kind of announcement like last week saying, hey guys, I know you're all interested in this kind of, you know, I know you're interested in this 2-pack. Stay tuned, as next week you'll have this 2-pack go up for pre-order during Target Falls Geek Out event. Even if, like, it's literally radio silent on their end. Like, that is unacceptable, completely embarrassing, very sad. And once I see that post from them tomorrow on their Facebook about how this 2-pack is going for pre-order, then I'm going to be like, unbelievable. Too bad, unless there's like a dislike button or something. Okay, anyways, let's read the chat. Troy Roach says, those Anniversary Legacy Joes pair great with the Valorverse Action Force figures. They all look great together. Yeah, I love mixing and matching Valorverse with Classified. There's nothing wrong. Oh, Arashikage is previously the loneliest monk. Oh, okay. No wonder you seemed like it was a new name. Solo Sinner says, yeah, man, I'm around, probably creeping in the background, but catching pretty much everything. Nice, man. I appreciate you, Solo. Thank you once again for the channel donation. Russell Terrell says, did the cop get released? Okay, that's another rant thing I have to talk about shortly, but let me finish this 2-pack part up quickly. He is getting ready to be up for pre-order. I'd say this pack is essential. It's Hasbro, this is what they do. Trash as always, says Vil the Great. Tagworm says, I'll admit I am dreading this one. I really want this one. I hope you get it, man. I hope you get it. The 2-pack is a must for me, says Nerd Alert. Jay Smith is definitely a must-have. Troy Roach says, it might be frustrating, but it sure as hell stirs up some chaotic excitement as everyone figures out how to get these. Yeah, I mean, it does bring some type of hype, that's for sure. Surd says, welcome to the chat, says these are the classified versions, wrong colors and helmets, and the retro versions will be released. So that's another thing I do want to talk about. Man, there's so much stuff I need to talk about. Thank you, Surd. Remind me in a second for that one. Alan says, if they are going up for pre-order on Hasbro, then I'll take my chances pre-ordering from Hasbro. It will be super late, but I'll get it. Don't trust Target canceling orders. Nerd Alert says, this pack is what Joe should be. I think they are trying to shift it, but it's too expensive, exclusive. Where am I? It's getting played with, make collecting more difficult. Yeah, I agree. Vil the Great says, you'll see a post from Hasbro after the figure sells out. Yes, that's 100% true. Wilfredo says, I'm really hoping we luck out and are able to get them. Me too, man. Liquid Identity says, stop thinking Hasbro cares at all about collectors, especially after Emily being booed for exclusives. They're just operating heads down. I mean, I don't know who to really blame at this point. I can't really blame the team just because they have people higher up than them, right? So I don't think they're the ones completely in charge of how this business is handled, but Professor Polish, how's it going on? Says, how's it? It's going good, man. It's going good. Hopefully we can catch up. Voice up says, Nerd Alert. Rocky Teller says, considering they laid off the guy who ran Pulse Con, I'm not surprised if they got rid of social media crew. You know what? I actually just found out that they laid off Ryan from the Marvel Legends team. That was a complete shocker to me. I had no idea. I was like, holy crap. And he was on the Marvel Legends team for like 13 or 12 years. That's crazy. No one is safe at Hasbro. Ionic Blood says they said figure it out. Yeah. Nerd Alert says I haven't pre-ordered anything since the Stigger. Josh says he understands. Professor Polish has got my legacy figures ordered. Big Bad Toys didn't have them up yet, so I got them from Entertainment Earth. Yeah, if you guys want, I have the link for Entertainment Earth on my post tab page if you want to. I'll be trying to get this 2-pack. Troy Roach says, I know I'm in the minority, but these bore me. I love Scorpion and Viper way more. I mean, that Scorpion figure looks sick, don't get me wrong. I agree. A. Romo says, I'm on vacation and chilling out with my wife and watching Shark on an 85-inch TV. Dear Lord, I'm so sorry. Shout out to Mrs. Romo. Hopefully your husband isn't bothering you by all this toy talk. Lego Star Wars channel says colors are bad with the pack. Steelers should be the color on Short-Fuze. So let me get to the next topic real quick. The thing that I find interesting about this 2-pack, right, is this whole time I was saying Steeler was the one on the right and then Short-Fuze was on the left. I only made that mistake because I was thinking of the animated series Steeler character because he had blonde hair in the cartoon. So when I actually had to go back and look up the original O-Ring figures, I saw that Steeler was the one with brown hair and then Short-Fuze was the one with blonde hair. And then that's what kind of threw me off a bit. And then obviously the thing that gave it away, which I got mixed up, was because the outfits are actually correct from the original O-Ring versions. So that pretty much means, even for those who are saying that the color schemes are wrong on these figures, it could also mean that we could get a re-release of these somewhere down the line for people who want like the more accurate color schemes. But that's why I was I got mixed up a bit, because I was thinking of the animated series version of Steeler. And that's why I was mixing up the character names. But then when I actually looked it up, I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. This is completely spontaneous and on the spot. So we have Steeler, which is right here. And then we have Short-Fuze, which is right here. So, I mean, that seems pretty accurate, I guess. Pixel Forge says the cop is back up on Big Bad Toy Store for pre-order. Yep. Even if Big Bad Toy Store is going to have sold out, not sold out BS, pre-orders are going to get even trickier, says Arashikage. Yeah, I agree. Todd C says looks on point. Yep. So yeah, I mean they're pretty much there. Who is Slim? Carlos says no one expects the Hasbro Inquisition. What did Slim say? Oh, okay, he was talking about the colors bad on them. Okay. Alan says this is a decent classified upgrade from the original O-ring. Solo says the head sculpts look great on these guys. Yeah, I mean the head sculpts are always fine. I don't really have issues with those unless it's like the freaking, what do you call it, the HASLAB crazy legs. That's probably one of the terrible head sculpts they have. But otherwise we can just see they took the inspiration from the original O-rings pretty well. But again, that's why I was kind of going in the opposite direction from the cartoon of mixing up the names because of the color of the hair. The color of the hair. All right, but other than that, the effects look good. The comes with the shovel, helmet's fine. I don't have any issues with that. He's got the missile, he's got the weapons with the bandages on. I think somebody in my comments before told me that the weapon on top is Rakondo's and then the weapon on the bottom is Outback's. We've seen a lot of those firepower effects before, so that's nothing new. And yeah, I mean, again, it looks fine. I don't really have an issue with that. It's definitely one of the greater 2-packs in my opinion. Like this one is definitely worth it for whatever the price hopefully they charge for. Rashikage says Shark said that they were up on Big Bad Toy Store but were sold out. Hours later they were available. Not sure what's the deal, but that has some straight pulse behavior. They definitely messed up for sure. Carlos says the loadout is definitely on point. Jay Smith says they could have reused Short-Fuze Buck and make a great Sparks figure. A Romo says, do you know when the Ghost Viper will go on pre-order? So Ghost Viper, I don't really know because everyone is saying it's a Walmart exclusive. And I personally do not have any idea when is the next Walmart thing, so... however, it's so it's going to be on Walmart. I just don't know when. So let me just pull up the original thing back up again. 17 decimal, welcome to the chat, says, are these all on Pulse at 9 a.m? That's another thing that confuses me because I don't know if Target and Pulse run parallel with each other. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant to confirm that information, because if Target is posting theirs at 9 a.m, then let's say at 9 a.m. Eastern, then Hasbro Pulse should definitely post theirs at 9 a.m. Eastern as well. But technically Hasbro Pulse usually posts all their pre-orders usually at 1 p.m, right? Eastern time. So that's the thing, they're not even communicating, man. Like I'm completely like baffled by the lack of communication on how these figures are going up for pre-order, because I understand if they're saying 9 a.m. Target, but they're also not saying it'll be on Pulse at the same time. So are we just supposed to expect that they're going to be on Pulse at the same time at 9 a.m, or are they going to be a few hours later on Pulse at the typical 1 p.m. time frame? And that's just for the East Coast people, because for those who live like in California, they got to wake up at freaking like 5:40 in the morning just to get like a figure from Target, which is going to be insane. Steeler has a resemblance of General Hawk. These face sculpts are some of the best today. Hope that it looks good. Yeah, I think they're one of the better ones for sure. I don't have any doubt that they won't be sculpted well. They'll be good. Yeah. Anywho, let's go to the next topic, which I want to talk about, which is, we'll come back to the Steel and Short-Fuze before we end the stream, but the Legacy series police officer is the other strange incident, because all we know from the Hasbro GI Joe Facebook or socials is that they stated that the police officer figure is going up for pre-order later this fall. That's the only thing we know about it, later this fall. And that was like, what, a week ago? A week and a half ago, I think. So that's all we knew. We were completely radio silent. We had no idea when this figure was coming out. Out of nowhere, they make a post like a week ago saying that this figure is coming out this fall. Now, one of my other annoyances is that randomly, no word from Hasbro whatsoever, randomly, this police officer figure goes up for pre-order on Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store on September 18th, which is today. Who would have known? Like, who's gonna figure this out? Hasbro's not even telling us that this figure is going up for pre-order. All they said was this fall. And when I think of fall, I think of October, November. I don't think of September when it's fall. So when you're saying fall, I'm thinking, okay, this figure is going to go up for pre-order at least in early October, mid-October. But because they went up on Big Bad Toy Store and on Entertainment Earth, which again, I have the links in the in my post tab page, so go ahead if you want to pre-order it. How are we supposed to know, like, I don't know, like, when is this going to go up on Hasbro Pulse? I mean, it's cool. It went up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. That's fine. But I don't know. I'm so at a loss for words. Like, it's not so much that the figure is releasing. Like, I'm happy the figure is coming out. It's just, it really bothers me when you have a giant ass company like Hasbro who's not even communicating with the collectors that are making their company thrive in this line. If it wasn't for us who collect this line, the GI Joe team wouldn't be where they are today. So the fact that they're treating us like this by not even telling us when these things are coming out, like, you got to give us some time, dude, like, to balance and figure things out, just so we can not just randomly stay radio silent and then have like a random company like Big Bad Toy Store be like, oh, it's up for pre-order. Like, we rely on Hasbro Pulse, who is the main, like, you know, the main hub for pre-orders and for news and information on these figures to come out. Yet you have the figure coming out. Scott Moore says, just looked it up, Walmart Fall Collector Con hits on October 9th. Oh shit, thank you, Scott Mora. Okay, I guess I gotta make a video about that one then. Thank you, Scott Mora. I will dedicate this one, the next SHARKNEWZ video, to you, because at the time when I looked it up, I didn't see any dates for Walmart Con. I would pay double for the price for Pythona right now to end the anxiety. That's gonna be another issue for sure. Let me see something real quick. Give me 1 second here. Give me one moment. I want to check something out. One second. All right. Hopefully this works. Where am I? All right. So I'm here on entertainmentearth.com. We have the Legacy series Police officer, it's still up for pre-order as of right now for $34.99 for those that are there. And then if we go on Big Bad Toy Store, the pre-order is still there right now for $34.99. So give me 1 second. I'll post both links in the stream. Give me one moment. Oh, the link is too big for me to post it on here. What a piece of crap. Alright, so I can't even post the link on here because it's the link is too huge. That's stupid. Let me see if Entertainment Earth works. Give me one moment. Where is this crap? Alright, here's the link to Entertainment Earth for those who want it. For some reason, I can't post a Big Bad Toy Store link because the link URL is way too big for them to freaking process, which is stupid as hell. Shoot. So let me just go back to this real quick. Yeah, so it's still there for those that want Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm literally on the website right now. Let me see what the chat is saying real quick. Wilfredo Diaz says, "Thank God you're letting us know. I just took a moment or the Legacy Police Officer." Thank you. I'm happy to help you, Wilfredo. Vil the Great says, "I don't rely on Hasbro, I rely on you, Shark." Thank you so much, Vil. That means a lot to me. I try my best, man. I know I'm not the greatest news guy out there, but I try my best, dude. It makes me happy I can help people out. That's the main goal here. That's the point of this channel, is to help people out. Mr. Madga says, "I hope they flood the stores like they did with Firefighter." You know what? My targets, surprisingly, they have the Legacy Series Firefighter. Both my targets, I still see them on the pegs, which is cool. So perhaps this might still be there as well. Alan says, "I got someone that is going to try to get me a Pythona NC and New York Comic Con." That's good stuff. The police, I don't know what that says, but it says the police figure probably isn't on their main site due to the controversy. Even if that's so, I mean, again, I don't know what your name says. I apologize with the white thumbnail. Even if that's so, at least they could still make some kind of announcement or post saying it's up early on Big Bad Toy Store or something. Yeah, the Nerdalite says, "I'm still looking at dial tone." Mr. Madga says, "I see other people hunt videos and breakers falling off shelves." Yeah. I finally got mine. Steve Young, welcome to the chat, says, "Officer is not on Amazon, right?" I assume it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be on Amazon just yet, because unless Hasbro probably has to give them the ups, you know, like the green light. So I'm pretty sure it could be on Amazon too. I'm just not sure at the moment, but I'm sure it could be. It probably will be by tomorrow or the after that. Tagworm says 100 likes. Oh, I mean, because I haven't streamed in like 3 weeks, I don't have any stream goal for today. I'm gonna let it slide. Maybe next stream we'll aim for the 100 likes. Fireman's gonna be an Ollie in 3 months. He says, "Oh, it means healer in kanji." Okay, so I'm gonna call you healer if I see your name again. Scott Morris says, "The Legacy Firefighter seems to be peg warming at Target, but the controversy on this one might put it in high demand." That's true. But it makes no sense why Hasbro wouldn't, you know, let us know. Because that's going to be completely stupid if Hasbro doesn't even post it on their Pulse website. Instead, the only way to get it is through this Pulse and Entertainment Earth. at least we know the upside is it's coming out hopefully December 2025. So for $35, I guess, you know, it is what it is. I don't really know what to say about it. I thought this was going to be a drop with no pre-orders. Oh well, I got my order in finally. Congratulations, Russell. I'm happy you got it. Okay, we'll come back to this one a little bit later. So let's see here. Where's that link I posted? I'll have it pinned on the top for those that want the pre-order link for the police officer figure. So it's pinned on there. Where am I going? Okay. Otherwise, this figure does look pretty good. I mean, I like it. It's fine. I like the blues. It kind of reminds me of like those old school versions of like the Leonard figures from back in the day that I used to see at Walmart. I always used to mix and match my G.I. Joe figures with my Leonard. Because I think the Leonard figures were always like more real life grounded characters like firefighters and like regular pilots and police officers and stuff. So that's what this figure always reminded me of. Just kind of brings back that memory of buying those other figures from Walmart back in the day. Mr. Madga says Scalper is going to have them on Amazon. Yeah, but Scalper prices are going to be insane for sure. Nerd Alert says, I want cops for Marvel Legends. Pose those boys with Spider-Man. Oh, shit. That would be a great idea, too. Yeah, that's a good one. That would be fantastic, says Alan, or Mr. Madgus. Alan says, always willing to help out other collectors. Of course, man. That's... I have more excitement helping out collectors than buying it for myself. Alright, so now we'll come back to this officer again shortly, but so that was my slight little event session for the Steeler and Short-Fuze 2-pack, and then the police officer. So I hope those were valid reasons for me to be upset. So in other words, Hasbro needs to get their ish together for this kind of stuff, because it's really annoying, man. Like that there's like so many collectors out there that are just not aware of what's happening, and they're just not even communicating properly to the people that make their brand the way it is. Okay, so anyways, what I do want to talk about, which is a very cool looking figure, is the Ghost Viper. What do you guys think of Ghost Viper? Has this figure grown on you? Do you feel like it's a pass? Is this a want figure? Because I know this figure kind of has like a mixed feelings, because people don't want to get this unless they have their crystal ball figure. And a lot of people don't have a crystal ball because their figure was either canceled, etc., etc. So it's like, why pre-order a figure that's an army builder for a crystal ball if they got canceled? So Healer says Ghost Viper looks amazing. Yeah, man, I really do like that helmet. Not really the ultimate helmet. I like the helmet that's on his head right now. And the weapons, of course, we've seen before. This is one of those things where there's two ways to look at G.I. Joe, right? You have G.I. Joe where it's the military side of it, and then you also have G.I. Joe where it's so much of a departure, where it's like super fantasy, etc., etc., kind of like unrealistic, so to speak. So this one fits right in that category of unrealistic style of figures, but it still looks really awesome. Carlos says Ghost Viper is a definite want. Nathan says getting 3. Jose says, oh, welcome to the chat, Jose, says the absence of ball is going to greatly hurt sales on this. true, unless they stock this one much more better than Crystal Ball. Nerd Alert says this does nothing for me. Vil says cool figure, but you can't troop build because I know that price will be ridiculous. Yeah, we don't even know what the price is for this guy is yet. But thank you to, who was it? Shoot, who was it before? Damn, I forgot. Where is it? I gotta find the name. Scott Mora. This figure will probably be up on October 9th for Walmart Collector Con, so I'll have an update video probably tomorrow afternoon to talk about that. Raj says didn't order nor want Crystal Ball, but will order at least one Ghost Viper. Yeah, I mean, one is fine too. Vil the Great says oh, I already read that. Liquid Identity says Breaker is still easily available through online stores like CMD Store. Oh, Liquid Identity, what is the price for the Breaker in Canadian dollars? Or if you know the conversion to US dollars. Pixel Forward says exclusives won't make me go into a store and shop. If they carried the figures in good supply, I would. Then I would stop pre-ordering. That makes sense. Mr. Madgus says that helmet reminds me of the Wraith. It reminds me of... Damn, what movie or TV show was that? I don't know, it reminds me of something. Also, for those who haven't done so, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and please do so. It'll definitely help the channel grow and help in the algorithm. So like this video. You know what? Let's make it a... Since it's my I haven't done a stream in 3 weeks. Let's make this stream goal to 50. He'll be $40, says Nerd Alert. Cobra can get away with extra sci-fi vibes, says Carlos. I agree. That's what makes Cobra so badass, because Cobras can easily get away with these crazy concoctions just because you have Dr. Mindbender who just sits there with his little silver overalls and his bare skin showing. His guns are mostly the first Cobra Infantry Trooper, which were lame. Ooh, so Nerd Alert is not too happy. Wilfredo says, I so want this figure. I'm hoping to get 2. I was lucky I was able to get Crystal Ball from the Walmart, no less. CMD Breaker is $28 plus 10 shipping, I think. Oh, damn. That's crazy. But what I do really like about this figure is the option to have 1, 2, 3. So you can literally army build at least up to 4 of these, which makes it so damn cool. Because you got the snake or the serpent head, alternate head. You have 5. Let's do 5 because you have the snake serpent head. You have the wolf head. And then you have that viper looking head with the skull deco, and then you can do the viper head again with the goggles, which can be in another army builder style. And then you have this particular sci-fi style helmet that you have here that he's wearing right now. So you can practically make 5 versions of these figures, which is pretty sick. Yeah, 50 is lowballing, but it's okay. A regular figure and pet is $45 USD. This is more of a deluxe pet, so maybe $50 US. I could see 50. 50 might be there because he has all those alternate hands, translucent effects, that other glowing thing, another translucent snake, and then those green flames you can attach on his wrists or those gauntlets, and then he comes with an animal as well. So an animal with an alternate head, like that's a lot. So I think what Healer is saying, I think it's right. It's definitely worth the price, whatever it is, regardless if it's too high or not. Because again, look at all the effects and accessories you're getting just for one figure. It's like you're getting a pet with an alternate head. You're getting a figure that has 4 different head sculpts. And then the figure also comes with all these additional hand sculpts and like another snake animal, and then like another green, like 3 green flame effects, and then that little hose piece that attaches to the backpack. So that works really well. Carlos was saying I was thinking 54, but that price point was for the 2-pack. Alan Balcom says what's bad is Walmart canceled a lot of pre-orders, put some figures on the pegs in stores, if I'm right, sold the rest to liquidation because they were not moving. Yeah, I mean, I do remember people getting their crystal balls canceled, and then I've seen many people toy hunting at Walmarts and then finding like 8 crystal balls on the shelves, and I'm like, what is this nonsense? Which, to be quite honest, is nothing new, yet it's just frustrating that people who pre-ordered like on day 1 get their figures canceled when somebody can just walk into Walmart and find like 8 of them on the shelf and then charge a little bit higher because it's a somewhat sought after figure. Jose says only 8 new items in there though. Even if it's 8 is still better than 4. And if they were regular looking like animals or like just regular detailed animals, I would have been like, okay, like maybe it's a little bit unnecessary. But the fact that they had to do the whole translucent effects on the snake and the wolf, and then the translucent effects for all the alternate hands and etc., like I think that kind of makes up for the price, in my opinion. And also you can probably make up to, no, because you know how I said you can make 5 figures, you can do 6, because now you can remove the hands and then put the green hands on one of them and then do the other hands on the other. Or you can have a left hand having a translucent and then the right hand having the regular one with the gloves. Holy shit, you can make like, screw that, you can do like 8 figures of this. Damn, I think I'm liking this figure a lot more than I expected. And if the lighting is good too, and then you have Crystal Ball standing right in the middle with his octopus looking head, or that with the ones with the horns and his mystical ball effects and shit, like that would look so sick, especially in the dark and lighting. Yeah, I mean, this is a surprisingly a strong figure for an army builder, for a brand new figure that they created too. I'm very pleased with it. I was not expecting it, but it's a very welcoming addition, at least. Because think about it, Crystal Ball, right? The original O-ring of Crystal Ball is complete ass. Like, it's such a generic, basic figure that looks like a Ra's al Ghul from Batman. But the classified version, they updated the hell out of that Crystal Ball, which made him look completely awesome. So it's like a 9 out of 10 for me. And then on top of that, you're giving a character like Crystal Ball his own army builder. Dear Lord, like that just shows you like that's good stuff, at least for me. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. That's like, you know, that Dr. Mindbender has his bats, his created bats and stuff, or whatever generic crap that he creates, but having Crystal Ball have his own army builders, and if for a character like Crystal Ball, I mean, holy crap, that's kind of good thinking in my opinion. Like that's a pretty good stuff. Carlos says there's tons of reuse for Ghost Viper, reuse Timber, reuse Viper, reuse Cobra Trooper weapons, reuse barbecue parts, and also Viper legs. Those are scrap iron and Dial Tone's knee pads. My favorite knee pads. I hate those knee pads though. You guys know I hate those knee pads. They just remind me of those ruffled potato chips. Not a fan of the accessories, says Mr. Madguess, but for him, I think they would fit far better with Crystal Ball. I mean, if you're allowed to utilize these effects for Crystal Ball too, that just makes Crystal Ball even more of a menacing figure as well. Even if you're not a fan of this particular Viper in general, you can probably put these with Crystal Ball and it'd still be sick. There are only so many guns they can make. This is going to be reuse, but they are packing these guys with too many. I liked when they could carry everything. I I think, I mean, there's a placement holder for one weapon on the side of his backpack, which means there's one there you can put. I think his right belt has the holster, which works. And then one weapon goes in the backpack, so you're eliminating two. He holds one weapon in one hand, and the other weapon has the hose attached to it, which connects to the backpack. So I think that kind of works. All four are kind of utilized in that way, if you so choose. Pixel Ford says, oh, I read that already. Wilfredo Diaz says, I wish they had used glow in the dark green. That would have been so badass. I think, yeah, that would probably cost them a lot more to do glow in the dark. But if you think about it, if you turn off the lights and use your HASLAB Dragonfly to place the lights on these figures, and you have like a whole Night Force sub-team trying to battle out Crystal Ball and these Ghost Vipers, yes! Now that's a story. Can you imagine Night Force figures fighting with the Night Force figures with the Dragonfly fighting Crystal Ball and Ghost Vipers? Holy shit, that is good stuff. That is good shit. Yeah, I like that. And then you have like, what's his name? The Wolf Spider. What was his name? Wolf Spider. That new figure. From the Night Force, you can have that guy too. Yeah, that works. Ionic Blood says for Halloween it's great. Yeah. Oh man, Halloween's around the corner. These will glow under a black light, I think. That would be sick. Mr. Madguess says, I just hate that they make these army builders and we're not able to army them. Unless your name Woody, you know him, you get it. Yeah, but the thing is, Hasbro knows that, and so Hasbro knows that the army builders are the essential portions to G.I. Joe. Because think about it, you have the Snow Serpents were army builders. What do? Pulse exclusive. The Eels were army builders, and what do? The first version is barely out. I don't even know what the hell happened to the retro one, but kind of better stock, but not that great. Then all the troopers were sold out immediately because they're the blue color schemes and they fit the Cobra theme, so why wouldn't they sell out? So otherwise, yeah, like all army builders are always going to be like either some type of exclusive or unnecessarily like limited quantities, which is completely BS. But that's because if you think about it, you only realistically need one Destro, one Baroness, one Zartan, one Xandar, Zarina, etc., one version of the Dreadnoks. Other than that, like, you're pretty much golden with majority of the Cobra characters. You only need like maybe 2 versions or 3 of Storm Shadow, depending on which one you want. One Dr. Mindbender for sure, and then one Scrap Iron. So you're pretty much completed most of the Cobra characters. The real hard-hitting emphasis of Cobra are the army builders. It's the Vipers, it's the Troopers, it's the Officers. That's what makes Cobra the way they are. Like, that's why they're so badass, because Cobra themselves are only limited to like maybe 13 main characters at most, 12 or 13 like essential dudes, and then other than that, the rest of them are all like Night Vipers, Alley Vipers, Crimson Guards, Bats, a bunch of Vipers, yeah, I mean, you name it, Eels, etc., etc. So perfect idea for Energon Comics, says JD Sweat. Hopefully, yeah, I pronounced your name right this time. I remember it was JD Sweat. Al Kusanagi, welcome to the chat. I believe this is your first time here. Says, is Ghost Viper also an exclusive? I believe so. It's going to be a Walmart exclusive, and thanks to Scott Mora, he said that the next Walmart Con is October 9th. So I'll make an update video probably tomorrow and talk about it then. But for those that are here in the chat, I guess you kind of get the first glimpse of the pre-order date, which is probably October 9th. Again, I'll do my research after I end the stream, and then I'll have a video update tomorrow, but according to Scott Moore, the next Walmart Con is October 9th, so this should be up for pre-order then. Rashikage says, mix in some Night Vipers when they come out, Trench Vipers and some Twilight Guards. Yeah. Oh, Twilight Guards, yeah. And Night Vipers, holy shit. Carlos says, that is an underlying story. Night Force is the Joe side of the Walmart exclusives. Ah, I see. Alan says, I got 2 of each. Elevate me to the higher human form, says the creature from the Black Lagoon figure can go along with this figures. Yeah, if you want the Joes to fight it, sure. Tony Nazario, welcome to the chat, says, hi everyone, late, what did I miss? Let's see, what did you miss? We talked about the Steeler and Short-Fuze pre-order for tomorrow, which I'll circle around near the end. We talked about the police officer figure. Now we're on Ghost Viper. But speaking of Ghost Viper, I love doing my side-to-side comparison kind of things, and here we have Crystal Ball with the Ghost Bite. I was about to say biker, Ghost Viper figure, and they look good together. I mean, thankfully it's the same browns, same oranges, same grays. Yeah, I mean this would look sick. This is completely good stuff. Scott Mora says New York Comic Con is October 9th through October 12th. Oh shit, so that's when... Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay. You're okay. Thank you, Scott Mora. You're right. All good, Russell. Thank you so much, man. Benny, welcome to the chat. Says, what's up, my Joe fans? Okay, so Walmart Collector Con will coincide with New York Comic Con, all on October 9th, so we should see the Ghost Viper go up for pre-order around that time too. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Benny is going to the con. That's what's up. Lawrence says, I'll order it and pick it up in Wally World. Hopefully, as long as they don't cancel. Carlos says, you can put the mole rats in there. Yeah. Mole rats, that would be cool. I totally forgot about the mole rats. Strange looking fellas. They need to create the zombie vipers, if you remember from, I forgot what year that was, but the zombie vipers were like these light blue looking zombie cobra characters. Those would look pretty sick. Okay, let me see what else we got here. JP says, hopefully it'll be easier to get than the Crystal Ball. Me too. Healer says Transformers. Benny says, wish those mole rats go on sale. Have they ever been back on stock, or they just completely vanished? I totally forgot about the mole rats. They've been out for 3 years. The only thing I don't like about the mole rats is just the color scheme they used for it. I mean, orange and purple is a bit bizarre of a color scheme to put together. Or was it dark blue and orange? I don't remember. Okay, Benny says it's a full stock on Hasbro. There's a slight chance I might go to New York Comic Con, but we'll see. Mr. Madga says, I don't know why, but I feel that Crystal Ball needs a green staff. I mean, they could still make another character with a green staff. That would be pretty sick. Random Poster says, really hate that these Walmart exclusives since the range... I think you meant Range Viper? I've been shafted. Cobra zombies and all the tentacles. Yeah, that would be pretty sick, Lawrence. Yeah. So now let me remove this here. Let's go to the okay, so I have to remove, because right now I don't know when that police officer is going up on Hasbro Pulse. So for the time being, let's remove the police officer because he already went up for pre-order now. Let's just change this on the spot while I'm here. All right, so at the moment we have Ghost Viper and Pythona probably scheduled for, I mean, Pythona most likely for New York Comic-Con, but thanks to Scott Mora, who helped me figure out that the Walmart collector, I should probably just type it in now, make it easier. Where am I? Holy crap, where is this? Okay. So Walmart I'll fix it. Walmart Con October 9th. Oops. Where am I going? Dang it. All right, so hopefully this makes a lot more sense. Ooh, that was frustrating. So I hope Pythona is a lot more easier and convenient to get, because that would suck if she's not there. So Pythona is considered more of a live event version, and then we have the Ghost Viper sorry, my computer just messed up real quickly. Sorry about that. Mr. Sampson with the facts of football. Cobra zombies, Pythona's top priority. Yeah, I mean, we know that Pythona will definitely sell out. Pythona will be a top tier for sure. And we have to remember, as G.I. Joe fans, or even fans of the 1987 movie, this is technically I think there's one, I don't know if there was one other version that came out after, like in 2014 or 12, or I don't know, one of those years. This is the first version of Pythona second version, I think, of Pythona we finally got, which is a little more what am I saying? It's a little more, shoot, brain fart. But yeah, otherwise we haven't really had a regular O-ring Pythona, so that's good stuff. Mr. Sampson says, welcome to the chat. Mr. Sampson says, only 72 watching and only 52 likes. Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like the video, people, if you haven't yet. Collector's Club version. Yeah, because I do remember that there was one Pythona version that came out. I just don't remember what year that was. But that was like, so we never had a regular Pythona in the O-ring scale, but we had a Pythona in the slight updated scale versions of G.I. Joe, which was, I guess, what Al Kusanagi is saying, Collector's Club. But this would make the official, I would say, I mean, it's the only version of Pythona we have in classified scale, but the fact that we have a Pythona, which is not so often of a figure that Hasbro has made, that's what makes it pretty rare in my opinion. So, and it's kind of the same thing with the Once a Man Cobra Commander, if you exclude the Super 7 version, the O-ring one, because I don't really count that one because that came like last year or something. Marquise Butler says 2016 Collectors Club. Okay, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you both, Al and Marquise. Alan says needs a 1-to-1 ratio of likes. Let's go, everyone. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen. Mr. Sampson says Pythona looks way better than Nemesis Immortal Enforcer. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that Nemesis Enforcer Immortal figure. I'm going to probably wait for a more classier version. But if you're a fan of that Skybound Comics style, then that could definitely work out in your favor for sure. It's just not really something I'm too keen on. It's a bit of too much of a departure for me, and he's like too bulky. I liked the Nemesis figure when he's like more taller and super. Well, this one that we have already is already muscular, but it's more like wider, kind of like how Road Pig is. I need something that's like taller and leaner, I guess. Because if you watch the 87 version of Nemesis Immortal is or Enforcer, he's sick. I mean, he just looks amazing. Oh shit. We have Joe Bits with the $5 channel donation saying, I don't sweat Joes as much as I do Cobras. Joes tend to repopulate, restock faster than the bad guys. The Mystic Range Vipers will be my focus. Ooh, thank you so much for the $5, Joe Bits. I really do appreciate that. You get the shark heart. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much, Joe Bits. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. But no, Joe Bits is not wrong though, because I feel like more so people are into. I mean, the Joes are definitely great. However, I feel like the Cobras are really what makes collecting G.I. Joe exciting, because the Cobras, because with Joes you can't really army build the Joes, you know, because you have the green shirt retro army builders for classified. But other than that, the Joes are such an elite group of people where it's like you just kind of need one version of each character, unless you have a specific preferred outfit or color scheme that they wear. And if you exclude the sub-teams that they're also part of. But technically, you need like one nunchuck, right? You need like one quick kick, one alpine, one bazooka, etc., etc. But with Cobras, it's like, it's kind of a field day, because you can get like the orange alley vipers, you can get the crimson alley vipers, you can get the Arctic bats, you can get the black standard bats, and then you get the retro bats. You can get all the variant troopers, because the Cobra troopers are extremely essential into G.I. Joe. And then if they, you know, you have the eels underwater. A Romo says, I'm trying to pre-order the police officer and it's not coming up on big. Check A Romo, check on my channel, go to my post tab page, and then check the second link. The link that I have here is for Entertainment Earth. The Big Bad Toy Store link, the URL was too big for me to post on this chat. So go on my post tab page and you'll see the link for the Big Bad Toy Store one. Melvin G retracted a message. Oh boy. What are you hiding? Alan says, I'm not happy with the wings on my Nemesis, but I do like the figure. Yeah, I agree. I don't like those wings either. Maybe if the wings were a lot better, then I could have came around to it. It's just those wings, they have like the very, very skinny arms, and then it's got like the wings to it. Which means that how are those wings like carrying that bulky guy? I don't know. They look too flimsy to carry his big ass. So if they were more like, you know how like the NECA Gargoyles Goliath figure had his purple wings, those would have been more essential to that figure. Then I could have came around to it and said like, holy shit, like that's a beastie figure. But yeah, I think the wings kind of turned it off for me. Somebody asked about when are these going up for pre-order. Was that Melvin? I think it was Melvin. I don't remember. All right, so we'll come back to... So I'll do an update video on this for tomorrow. So hopefully this might make a lot more sense. So stay tuned for that one. But let's get this one out of the way. Where am I? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. All right, so let's go back to the Steeler and Short-Fuze. Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, Arashikage says I had to type in the Legacy Police for Big Bad Toy Store. Tagworm says, dude, I was saying the same thing. He ain't flying nowhere with those wings. Wilfredo says, God, I really hope they don't make Pythona too difficult to get. So the thing about Pythona is that unless you're there at the live events, we know that they're going to post Pythona on Hasbro Pulse. Like, I don't see her anywhere else. It's going to definitely be 100%. Well, don't quote me on that, but it seems more so 100% going to be on Hasbro Pulse and not anywhere else. Therefore, unless you're at the New York Comic Con, then you're going to see her there. If you're on Hasbro Pulse, you'll see her there, but Hasbro Pulse is going to sell out butt fast. And then you know that the premium members are going to get there first, which means whatever limited quantities after premium members will get, then whatever is left over, if there is anything left over, then, you know, general public will probably be able to get a shot at Pythona, which doesn't really say much because we've seen this incident happen with Nemesis Immortal Enforcer. We've seen this happen with Once a Man Cobra Commander. We've seen it happen with Chuckles. We've seen it happen with Dr. Mindbender. So it's all going back in circles. Like, it's technically and unfortunately nothing new. Hope She's Elite goes up for a few times like Cold Slither was a lot easier because not everyone wanted Cold Slither. Cold Slither was such a deep cut, you know what I mean? Like, even though Pythona only showed up once in the movie, the thing about Pythona is that she made such an impression, at least to me. She's the only female in Cobra, or even in general, to literally infiltrate the Cobra base or the Cobra Terror Drone without getting caught and beat the shit out of Crimson Guards and Vipers and shit and made her way all the way down to Serpenter. Like, that's badass, dude. Like, no one has ever done that. So Pythona holds a pretty awesome, like, name on a pedestal because of how badass she is. Whereas Cold Slither, despite having a very popular song, the Cold Slither song in the band that a lot of people enjoy, the thing about Cold Slither was that they had that little appearance in that episode in the band, but it's like a departure from, you know, how they technically are in terms of, like, do you really want Zartan in yellow spandex and a wig, you know what I mean? Or if that's really his hair, you know what I mean? But, like, do you want, like, Buzzer and Ripper, like, in a drum set with guitars, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a drastic niche of a group, whereas you have Pythona, who's part of Cobra La, which some people may hate, but at the end of the day, Cobra La is selling like hotcakes. there's collectors out there who absolutely hate Cobra Law, but they're still buying all the figures. Like, they don't care. Like, regardless if you're selling them or if you're keeping it, let's be honest, Cobra Law is selling. Mr. Sampson says the site crashing is just plain stupid. Fix your site, Hasbro. I also believe that, a lot of people also order their figures from their phone. I think people have a better time doing it from their laptops or computers, but not everyone has that convenience with them at the moment or time of pre-ordering, because people could be at work or they're driving or they're sitting on the toilet trying to pre-order their figures. So it makes sense why the app on the phone would crash a lot more compared to using an actual laptop or desktop computer. Alan says exactly. Let's see here. All right. So other than that, by looking at all the figures that we are aware of and we know so far for GIJOE Classified, let's take a brief rundown exactly what we have left in store before we head into October, because right now it's September 18th. We still got a little bit of time before October, so I'm hoping we get digital renders for Night Viper and Iceberg and Hit and Run, Lifeline. But for now, the Arctic Flint, Lady Jaye, and Frostbite was part of the HASLAB campaign. Therefore, I'm not going to say too much about those figures because we have all the way till 2026, like probably July, August of 2026, to talk about Frostbite, Arctic Lady Jaye, and Flint in the bivouac. So I'm just going to stay quiet on that because, we're going to have to wait. Then we talked about on tonight's stream, we talked about the Steeler and Short-Fuze 2-pack, which, mind you, again, is going up for pre-order tomorrow, September 19th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Target. I have no clue what the timing is for Hasbro Pulse, so I apologize, but Hasbro Pulse is staying completely silent on that one. And then the Ghost Viper, thanks to Scott Mora, who told me about the Walmart CollectorCon date, is the same time during New York Comic Con. Therefore, we should see the Ghost Viper and Pythona both go up for pre-order around the same time. Pythona should probably and most likely be a Pulse exclusive. Ghost Viper is a Walmart exclusive, so he'll be on the Walmart website and probably limited quantities on Pulse as well. The Legacy Series Police Officer went up for pre-order today. The links are in my post tab page. And I have the link pinned right there on the top from Entertainment Earth because the Big Bad Toy Store is out. But you can see that Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth are the only two websites right now to offer the pre-orders. Well, according to A. Romo, he just said it's sold out. Johnny says Big Bad Toy Store sold out. Oh shit. Okay, so aside from Big Bad Toy Store, I guess Entertainment Earth still has it. Hopefully, well, you know what? Let's check it out. Actually, give me a second. Where are we? Where's my? Whoops. Get this group out of the way. Okay, let's refresh Entertainment Earth. All right, it's still there on Entertainment Earth for those who want it. Here we are, Big Bad Toy Store. Let's refresh, and it says pre-order sold out. Aww. But that's kind of okay, because if you guys remember, not too long ago, which was literally like just an hour or two ago, they were sold out, but then they went back up again for pre-order. And then now it's saying it's sold out again. So I think what you guys should do is stay on the page, like just refresh it whenever you can, and perhaps you'll get like a better chance if you don't have it and want it at a restock on Big Bad Toy Store, because they were already there for pre-order, it sold out, and then went back up for pre-order for about an hour or so, or an hour or two, and then now at the time of making this video here on the East Coast, it's 10 p.m. So Now it's sold out, so maybe in about another hour or two, or maybe by tomorrow, there should be a restock of these if Hasbro Pulse doesn't say anything about it. So that's completely unfortunate. But yeah, very sad. But thank you guys for letting me know that it's sold out. Otherwise, I would have made an error. But yeah, so let's go back to the group here, or so what I'm hoping for in terms of New York Comic-Con is hopefully a render reveal for whatchamacallit, the Night Viper, because the Night Viper is definitely one of my most anticipated figures. I'm waiting for. I hope we get Night Viper. And then Lifeline. So the thing is, we know that there's going to be Tiger Force Lifeline and Tiger Force Frostbite. So with those two molds already here, I hope that, you know, once we get the regular Lifeline, we should see a Tiger Force version. Then Hit and Run, I have a lot of hopes for, because we can realize from the Halo jumper, the 30th, what was it, 40th, 60th anniversary Halo jumper, probably the same type of mold, but use it as Hit and Run, and then he should come with his bag with a giant ass parachute. So hopefully that should work. And then Big Lob will complete the new recruits, because Big Lob will complete the Law and Order, Tunnel Rat, Jinx, and Chuckles and Falcon lineup. Iceberg is probably the first introduction to the Arctic team in terms of, with Frostbite coming out next year. So 2026 should be a cold year in terms of, to heavily market the HASLAB SNOWCAT. They should definitely toss in a lot more Arctic characters next year. Otherwise, that's going to be BS. Somebody made a very valid point. I forgot who it was, but they said we haven't gotten any like troopers for the Dragonfly, and it's supposed to be like, we should have had like additional bonus troopers, like a 3-pack for the Dragonfly, which would have made it so much cooler. Some kind of air crew, ground crew, or whatever it is. So we haven't gotten that. We didn't get anything for the Rattler, because the His Tank was the only one that got the 788 fire team, and then we got the Techno Viper with the SMS. So who's to say, or who's not to say, that we probably will or won't get any additions to the Arctic themed characters from the HASLAB SNOWCAT. Otherwise, that would be sad if they didn't do it. Carlos says, still hoping for a reveal of the unknown vehicle and Chairface figure. Yeah, so apparently there's also another figure that's coming out with the pet. Figure that's coming out with the vehicle, right? One of those other things. So there should still be some unknown new character reveals during New York Comic-Con, which will be extremely exciting. So that's one of the things I really, really love about doing videos about upcoming figures, is I like to kind of stay like out of the loop, but also not necessarily know what's coming, but like I kind of want to keep some surprises, in the sense of like I kind of don't want to know what else is coming out, you know, like I want to be shocked, I want to be surprised, because I miss when G.I. Joe was like that, when you just don't know what's coming out and the Hasbro team just releases something, you know. So that's what makes it so exciting for me. So anyways, so those are the upcoming figures. Maybe we might get a 2-pack of the Taurus and Reddog, maybe a Flash reveal, who knows, that would be cool. But if not, hopefully we'll get something. But yeah, where am I going? Anyway, so on that note, let me just see what we have here. Title Manishir says, did you notice that the Budo and Desert Scorpion got moved up to mid-October 2025 on Amazon? Oh shit, no, I did not know that. Thanks for letting me know. Carlos says, oh no, I just read that. Couch Boy, welcome to the chat. Johnny Reno, welcome to the chat, says, I never order anything from Big Bad Toy Store anyways. I pre-order from Entertainment Earth. Mr. Sampson says, I forgot all about Budo. Couch Boy just woke up. Johnny says, Entertainment Earth is not $50 for the Legacy Officer. He's $34.99. Couch Boy says, Night Force Mutton Junkyard. Couch Boy says, who's that new guy in renders with the helmet on? Which guy? Which guy? The one in the front? Couch Boy. That's Ghost Viper. So yeah, I'm hoping that sometime by October, we get a updated list or render reveals and we can add more characters to this, which will be great because we're going to knock out all 5 figures on the right, aside from the Arctic characters or the HASLAB characters. So then we should have like a brand new set of renders to add onto this list, which is going to be extremely exciting because I hope we get Night Viper and all that stuff. So with that being said, one more time, just to remind people who are joining in late and completely forgot. Tomorrow, September 19th, tomorrow, September 19th, Steeler and Short-Fuze, Target.com, limited quantities on Hasbro Pulse, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. I wish you guys all the best of luck. I will post a link to this 2-pack on my post tab page. I will send the Fig Gods to help you guys out, hopefully, and you guys are able to get it. I hope this doesn't become a terrible shit show. I pray it doesn't. I want you guys to all enjoy and have your figures, but it's Target. We got to expect the unexpected, and we know whenever they say limited quantities on Hasbro Pulse, you know that it just means that we have like 5 or 10 in stock and it's going to sell out, which means Target might be our best bet, but Target also cancels pre-orders too, so no one is safe at this moment, but hopefully we all get what we want and it should be exciting. And I hope this works out for everyone. So with that being said, one last time, tomorrow, September 19th, Steeler and Short-Fuze, 9 a.m., 6 a.m. Pacific, Target on Hasbro Pulse. So, and Tagworm says, whatever picks I get at Comic-Con, I might send you. I mean, I might be at New York Comic-Con. I don't know. I haven't, it's not 100% confirmed yet. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for watching and tuning in on today's Thursday stream. It should definitely be a fun ride for tomorrow. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking today's video. If you haven't liked it, please go like it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this after, thank you for clicking the replay. And I wish you guys all the best of luck for tomorrow, and thank you for all my channel donations, donators, Solo Sinner and Joe Bits. Thank you guys so much for the channel donations. Once again, wishing you guys best of luck. Hopefully you get your figures, and I will see you all in the next SHARKNEWZ video, which I'll post one tomorrow talking about Ghost Viper. But for now, thank you guys so much, and enjoy getting this 2-pack. And I'll see you guys all in the next live stream, probably next week. I'll see you all then. Enjoy, and